Hello, welcome to Drinks Tube. I'm Tim Anderson. I'm a chef, a food writer, and a professional beer geek. I'm here at Club Gascon in London, where today we're going to be served an exquisite French 5-course tasting menu paired with some of the best American craft beers you can get, provided by the Brewers Association. And what we want to show you today is that the realm of fine dining is not just for wine. Beer is often as good or a better match than any wine you can get your hands on. Now, some of the food today is going to be quite fussy, quite complicated, but I'm going to give you some ideas of things you can make in your own home kitchen that are based on what we're eating today. All right, first course is here. That means time for our first beer. It's called a Berliner Weisse beer. It's actually a sour wheat beer, which I think is going to be perfect with this oyster dish. It's really fresh and biscuity. It's got a little bit of a honey note to it, but then there's a nice tart apple character. And underneath all that, there's some nice, lovely, rich, cracked wheat. It's like a great vintage champagne. And that's why it's going to be perfect with this dish. It smells amazing, and it looks crazy good. How do I eat this? Let's see if I can do this down in one. That's how I usually do oysters. That's fantastic. This oyster dish has so much going on. It all comes together beautifully, but it's really just wave after wave of flavor. There's briny oyster, and that's accented by the seaweed in there. And along with the beer, all that sort of just comes together. It melds together. It feels more complete. Excellent. We're doing great so far. Now, this beer actually comes from my home state of Wisconsin, and I can vouch for this brewery. It's delicious. Now, amber lager, not something you see that often on these British Isles, but it's a pretty common style in American brewing. This one is malt forward, and malts tend to be sweet and caramelly and nutty and mellow. It is a lager. You can tell it's a lager because it's quite clean and dry. It's got a lot more flavor than you might expect from a typical lager. It's like a toffee apple, but with a little hint of bitterness from the hops, just sort of clean it up. The sweetness in here is going to be, I think, absolutely perfect with this dish. This is wood pigeon with berry ghoul, orange, and glazed kumquat. Let's have a go. Delicious. It's a perfectly balanced dish. It's got richness from the pigeon. It's got sort of a mellow fruitiness and sweetness from the orange. And there's complexity and an herbal character from that berry ghoul. And this, with its just perfect straight down the middle balance and sweetness, it almost acts as like a glaze that sort of ties everything together and coats everything in this nice sweetness. I could eat this every day, all day. I love pigeon, and I love this beer. Now, if you're new to beer and food pairing, you may wonder, well, how do I actually do it? The way I do it is I like to sort of get a little bit of both flavors in my mouth at the same time. But basically, I'll take a swig of beer, get that flavor, let it linger, and while it's sort of still in there, take a bite. And the flavors sort of match for a bit. You get a little bit of both, and then more beer. And it's the flavors that sort of linger from sip to bite, sip to bite. That's where you get that interplay. And that's where that alchemy happens, where things become more than the sum of their parts. You start to notice different flavors in both the beer and the food that you didn't notice before. It's about teasing out different nuances and complexities of both what you're drinking and what you're eating. It's good fun. Third beer. Now, we've actually got the brewer here with us. He just described it as Cascade hops, beginning, middle to end. Oh yeah, it's got two of the defining features of Cascade hops right out of the glass. It's white grapefruit and rose. It's really floral, really citric. I'm gonna enjoy this one. You get that grapefruit pith, you get a little bit of rose. It's really balanced, really refreshing, but it's also got this sort of nice, toasty, malted character to it. So to pair with it, the chef has made us a lovely silky duck flan. It smells awesome. Let's give it a go. Ha! This is like the bomb. This is so perfect. That fruitiness and that toastiness and this richness, they all work so well together. It's got this sort of mouth-filling creaminess to it. And the bubbles in here clean up the palate a bit and refresh between bites. This is good. Yeah, good. Now, if you want to have something like this pairing at home, you got yourself a good bottle of pale ale like this Mirror Pond. Try any other kind of chicken liver or even a pork liver pate with some sweet tart chutney and good crusty bread. You get a similar kind of pairing here. Lovely. We're starting to ratchet up the flavor a bit. Now, India Pale Ales and Pale Ales, what's the difference? The bottom line is IPAs are typically stronger and hoppier than your typical pale ale. Wow. Straight away, you notice this intense sort of freshly cut Christmas tree, sappy pine aroma. Ooh, it's got a kick to it. It's definitely full of Centennial hops. It's more bitter than the last beer. There's also like this maple syrupy sweetness to it. It's pretty dangerous, that one. Let's try it with the food. Here we have a black pudding cappuccino with lobster and asparagus, which sounds awesome, looks awesome, smells awesome, and tastes awesome. That works so well. There's this real rich, almost haggis-y flavor coming from this black pudding broth. It's just real meaty and savory and satisfying. And what the beer does, it almost adds this sort of lighter layer to it. It just sort of perks it up. If you got yourself a nice hoppy, resinous IPA at home, then you could do this with simply fried black pudding. A haggis dish would be perfect. Something that's really sort of rich, got a lot of sort of iron flavor, would be perfect for a beer like this. So, here we are at the last course, the last beer. I'm feeling pretty fat and happy, but there's always room for dessert. And there's always room for this beer. This is the beer that got me into beer. I'd never had anything like it, and it's still one of my all-time favorites. And I've had lots of beer. You can just tell by looking at it. It's rich and oily like an espresso. The smell, it's just incredible. Dark chocolate, that's the first thing. Well pulled espresso. A little bit of like a coffee liqueur. And then there's also this nuttiness to it, this sweet nut thing, like an amaretto or a marzipan note. It's really rich and really, really just, well, it's pretty good. Wow. It just slips down like the world's most grown-up chocolate milkshake. So, for a rich, chocolatey dessert beer, we have a rich, chocolatey dessert. That's perfect. I can die happy. That chewy caramel, it's not only sort of the same flavor as the beer, it's almost the same kind of texture. They're just made for each other. It's like if you distilled this, you'd get this. They're perfect. I'm gonna drink all of this one. Now, if you're lucky enough to get yourself a stout as rich, strong, and delicious as old Rasputin, just get yourself a good, rich chocolate brownie, top it with a scoop of caramel, praline, or hazelnut ice cream, and a few flecks of sea salt. And that's what'll convince you that beer and fine food are made for each other. Well, I gotta say, great American beer, fine French dining, fantastic together. I really, really hope you guys will track some of these beers down and try them for yourselves. You can search for them online and find them in mail order shops. And if you have any questions, just leave them in the comments below. And don't forget to click subscribe.